Welcome to another edition of Gonagain. In this video, we start out at our home in central Montana, travel down into southeast Montana, camp along the Yellowstone River, go through the tip of Wyoming and into South Dakota where we're camped in the Custer National Forest. Be sure and watch the whole video because we always have travel tips for you and how we do things, how we find places to camp, and we might even share our favorite place to go have pie. Hope you enjoy this episode. Well, the water jugs are full, tire pressure's checked, bearings are greased. Have to install the hitch. Yeah, I went to this system a long time ago because I had one of these locking ones and it broke. It work hardened and broke right there at that narrow neck on there that lock fits into. That broke off and the hitch pin slid out. Not good. Okay, now I got this far. Now I need to find my anti-rattle clip and get it bolted on. I've got something better. Watch this. What do you think of that? It's rated at 7,500 pounds. Pin over here is automatic. It comes out. And then the anti-rattle portion of it is also included. And it's locked. Everything in one. Isn't that cool? We're heading out on a 6-week road trip. I'll be using this. I'll try it out and then I'll review it for you. Oh, so check this out. A little morel mushroom. I'll be looking for some more of those. Oh, coffee, can't beat that. So today is the 12th of May, Mother's Day. Linda and I finally escaped our home in central Montana and we're out on a road trip. We had to hang around so long because of Linda's eye surgeries. It could have all been done in just a few weeks, but it took 3 months just because of the appointments being spaced out so far. Even her eye doctor apologized, but there was nothing he could do. But we made it out, and Linda's doing fine. She's so happy with how clearly she can see now. And she sees how old I am. No, she's doing really good. And colors are amazing her, and the sharpness of the detail in what she sees. And she only needs glasses for reading now. She's really happy. But we're down here in Forsyth, Montana, on our way to South Dakota. And we're just traveling and camping and having a nice time. We never do any videos on the day we leave. You know, there's just too much going on and you want to kind of get some miles in. So we woke up this morning here, camped next to the Yellowstone River. And it's beautiful, the weather's nice. Let's just see how good our campground water is. Average. It's not a very high score in average either. So it's a yellow screen and they recommend that anytime you get a yellow screen with one of these, you want to filter it. I wouldn't be filling my jug with this water. Yeah, that looks good on you.
It's okay. So, Britt, where do you see yourself in the future?
At the Purple Pie House in Custer, South Dakota. Well, now that we found that one little morel mushroom, we'll probably not find another single one. Oh, the Yellowstone River is really flowing.
Ooh.
Spring melt, but man, I'll bet it's overflowing in some areas.
It's roaring and flowing.
If you were one of the early explorers, trappers, cavalrymen that came through here maybe in the late 1800s, this was a formidable river to cross during a spring flood. In fact, you just couldn't do it. Well, you ready to get back on the road?
Yeah, better back on the road than on the water today, yeah.
Yeah. Don't see any boats out there today.
Yeah, and the water's so muddy, the fish will choke, won't they?
I think the fishing would be really bad. Yeah. So.
Okay, let's hit the road.
Okay. Well, this is the public fishing access and campground on the Yellowstone River in Forsyth, Montana. Linda and I stayed here years ago, but they've really improved it. It's a nice place. And you do pay to stay. You have to have a Montana fishing license and conservation license to be able to stay here. Well, Linda and I left Forsyth, Montana, about mid-morning and headed over to Miles City and then started heading south. I think Highway 59 out of Miles City and then through the corner of Wyoming, and then now we're down here in South Dakota, about 30 or 40 miles north of the town of Custer. Now, the thing is that we never know where we're going to camp at night, and sometimes things just don't work out. But sometimes they just do. This is a dispersed camping spot in the Custer National Forest. It's boondocking. And this is a spot just all to ourselves. Just beautiful. Oh, wildlife. We came through here last year on our way to Florida, and we just really thought it was a beautiful place. Between here, north of Custer, and the town of Hot Springs, South Dakota, we just wanted to spend some time in the national forest in these areas. The highways are really good, and it's kind of dry. It's not so wet here. It just looked like a good place to come and explore. Anyways, that's what we're doing. So when we got up this morning in southeast Montana, we woke up to heavy smoke. So the forest fire season, the wildfire season is already upon us. It was upwind of us, so it was coming out of North Dakota or something, I think. But we drove down here and it looked like we were going to be stuck in it, but we drove out of it. We were so happy. It's pretty clear here. A little slight haze, nothing bad. It's pretty darn good. I wanted to say a little something about tires because I'm pretty happy with what we have right now. The trailer has Goodyear Endurance tires on it, and I purposely went with a slightly wider rim. This is a 7-inch rim, and I was able to go to one size larger tire. So this is a 225/75 R15, and this Goodyear Endurance tire has got a higher speed rating on it. Not that I go very fast, but it does. And it's wearing really well. It's doing really well. This is, I don't know, we've had it on there for a couple of years now. On the car, we had BF Goodrich KO2s. Good tire. I guess we got about 45,000 miles out of them. They weren't completely worn out, but I just didn't like them anymore. They're quiet when you first get them for about the first 7,000 or 8,000 miles. They're quiet, and then they start making noise when they start to wear in a little bit. And they got to be pretty noisy, so all the time you're going down the highway, they're humming. So I didn't like that. Great traction off-road, you can't beat it, but they're more of a serious off-roading tire. And you gotta admit that even for us who are always camping out in the outback places, remote camping spots, 90% of our driving at least is on asphalt. So last year what I replaced those KO2s with was this Goodyear Wrangler Workhorse ATs. And the tread isn't quite as aggressive. They say you get more mileage out of these than you do like a KO2. But I'm pretty happy with these. They're quiet going down the road, and I still have decent snow and mud traction on these. So I'm liking these better. I know the BF Goodrich KO3 is out, but I'm sure it's just like the KO2 with some improvements. It's still going to be a noisy tire on the highway, I think. But if all you're doing is off-roading, that's probably a good bet. If you're doing what we're doing, this is a better bet. Oh, and mileage. I just had Linda do the mileage, and so far we're getting 12.5. So those KO2s did knock a mile per gallon off of our mileage. And that may not sound like much, but at the end of the day, it's like 30 or 40 miles that you got robbed of. Then it's a lot. On a month-long trip or something like that, it's an awful lot. Oh, okay, that looks good to me.
This is mine.
Am I doing the peanut butter and jelly thing again tonight?
Yeah. Well, it is Mother's Day.
Well, you're a good mom. You deserve this.
All of it.
Would be nice if you'd share, though. Well, while Linda's got that big steak going outside, I've got some beans heating up inside here on the induction cooktop. We use this most of the time, but if we do have to make a steak or something, we don't like to do that inside the trailer. So we do it on that little butane burner out there. There is one thing. We tend to make this look like it's easy, but it's really not that easy. We start looking for a place to camp around like 3 o'clock. Actually, it sometimes starts like the night before. We don't know what route we're going to be taking, so I'll start looking at possible camping areas down the different routes that we might be taking, and that might help us make up our mind which way we want to go later. Not always, but sometimes. But usually by about 3 in the afternoon, we're thinking about where we want to end up at, what area. So like tonight, we wanted to end up in the Custer National Forest. But how do we find this spot? Well, for this particular instance, we used iOverlander, and what did you use?
Well, we use several maps and map apps.
Yeah.
And a paper map.
Right. What did you use? Because you were pulling campsites up.
I was using publiclands.org. I also use Campendium free camping, and also the Google Maps on your phone. Sometimes if you go to satellite and you expand the picture, you'll see where their dispersed camping is in the national forest.
A lot of times you look at the roads on the satellite view, and you kind of scroll in, and you can actually see the pullouts on the forest roads, the dirt roads. I was using iOverlander today, and I went and downloaded the app on my phone. I used that, and I was also using freecampsites.net. And we also use these DeLorme books. We don't happen to have one for South Dakota yet, but these are really great because they show you the public land on them. You can see BLM, you can see National Forest, you can see state, and they're all different colors. So these work really good.
Yeah. And the white is private.
It shows you private land too.
Yeah.
You can't totally trust in it because within National Forest, there's a lot of private land. You have to watch out for that.
Right. And a lot of those private lands were there before it became national forest, so.
Yeah, that's why they're there. Yeah. There is one other thing that I wanted to mention. There's a YouTube channel that Linda and I were watching. It's a younger couple in their 30s. She doesn't know where I'm going right now. But they have like 4 small boys. The oldest one, I don't know, they're all small, and the youngest one is a babe in arms. They were traveling with a small trailer, but every night they were pulling into campsites well after dark. Now, I admit that this was earlier in the spring, so it gets dark earlier, but that kept going on every night. And I didn't know they were on a vacation. I got to thinking, well, maybe they're en route to somewhere. Maybe he's starting a new job or something and they got to make miles. But that wasn't it. They had drawn themselves out of route. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I won't mention any names.
No.
But they had drawn themselves out of route that they had only a certain amount of time to do it. And every day it was miles, miles, miles. And I felt so sorry for the children, you know?
Yeah, they were setting up camp in the dark.
Every night.
And then they were dragging out their big, huge 2-burner cook stove and fixing a full dinner.
In the dark.
In the dark.
I felt sorry for the mom, too.
Yeah. It's a lot of, I know what we go through, and it's just the two of us, you know, setting up and getting ready to cook, and that's a lot of work.
It is a lot
Mister.
of work. I'm easy. But yeah, I started getting so mad at their channel, I just quit watching because every night was the same thing, pulling in long after dark. We try to be in a camp spot by 5 o'clock, and we learned that by pulling in too many times well after dark.
And we should say that we know what it's like to have little ones traveling and finding some place to set up camp. Because we did that when our girls were little. We went on a 30-day road trip in a tent trailer.
Yeah, we had fun.
Yeah.
But even then, we tried to pull in early enough so we'd have a nice evening. You know?
The kids have time to play, you know, and get all that pent-up energy.
Yeah.
Go play.
The thing is, when you wait until the last minute to find a camp spot, you better have money in your wallet for a hotel because sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
That's happened to us.
Yeah.
That's how we know. Well, after dinner, there's always the cleanup.
The cleanup and the put away.
Yeah. Steaks look like a good thing to have, but you always have to clean that pan. And we're not in grizzly bear country here, but there's black bears around, and it's tough to clean a pan here and keep from inviting the predators in. You don't want to do that. So.
Hey, look, I'm peeling off a layer. That's how nice it is out. Woo.
We just went through a Montana winter, you know, where it's, 20 below is nothing. It's just normal. And yesterday we're driving along in the car and Linda says, "Hey, I'm sweating."
I even sent a voice text to my girls saying that.
We got out camping a couple times. Went to Wyoming once for a few days and went camping in the Rockies a couple times when we get little bits of decent weather. But yeah, we're out of shape. We're right near Deadwood, South Dakota, where Wild Bill Hickok was shot, holding the hand aces and eights. We drove through Deadwood yesterday. We're right near Mount Rushmore and the Crazy Horse Monument. And we didn't go to any of them because we've been so many times when we were younger. And now we just travel to do what we're doing right now. We're way more happier out here than we are in a tourist destination. Not that you shouldn't go to those places. They are interesting, but we've been there, done that.
You should go if you've never been to those places to see what it's like and to appreciate our history. But we've been to those places many times already with our kids, with friends. So we do what we like to do now. Get lost in the woods.
You better not get me lost in the woods.
I know where I'm at.
Well, today, to keep from getting lost, we've got a power line on our left side as we move up the mountain here. And if we just follow that, it'll take us right back to near where we're camped. And we've got the position of the sun, which we know is making an arc overhead, but slightly to the south. And we've got Linda's wonderful intuition. She always knows exactly what direction camp is. Well, I'm not a forester, but I spend a lot of time in the forest. But it's obvious to me that in here they do selective logging. So they leave, they log the bigger trees and leave the littler ones go. And then over here is a big pile of where they clear the forest floor, not totally, but a lot of it. And they put it in a big, huge pile. This pile is probably 15 feet tall. One nice thing about forests like this is that you can just walk anywhere because it's all open under the trees. Love this. Not like the forests of the Pacific Northwest, which is all underneath the trees. It's all blackberry branches and vines and ferns, but this is awfully nice. So the cars around here are pretty close, I think.
So, just for fun, try that hack where you use your car alarm.
Oh.
Sound it off. That's pretty good. Because how far are we? And we can't see it through the trees.
No, I'm guessing we're 100 yards anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, that's not bad. 2002 Yukon with a 2002 key fob. Let's go have lunch.
Yeah.
Well, we made it back to the trailer. We're gonna make something to eat here, a little lunch, and then we're going into Custer to meet one of our viewers by the name of Steve, and we're gonna have pie. We made it back. Yeah, this is our viewer, Steve. He suggested that we go to Pie, and we thought, well, it's only a drive to South Dakota, so what the heck?
What the heck?
Right.
Let's go.
Anyways,
for it. Yeah.
nice for you to be here with us, Steve. This is awfully nice.
Pleasure meeting you guys, really, big time. Been watching you for a long time.
Thank you.
You guys are YouTube rock stars.
No, I don't know about that. Let's go have pie.
Awesome, sounds good, thank you. You think this umbrella's too big to put on her hat?
Yeah. She still got the other one,
Yeah, and now.
I'm gonna take that shit.
So, Steve got a peanut butter cream a la mode. Yeah.
Yeah, the coconut head, that coconut cream pie.
And I got a chocolate cream a la mode. Never had cream pie a la mode, but looks pretty good to me. While we were in there having pie, we got hit by one major hailstorm. Luckily, it wasn't big enough pellets to do any damage to our cars or anything. So Steve ordered peanut butter cream pie with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. I'll tell you what, it's the first time I've ever thought about having ice cream with cream pie, but I ordered my chocolate cream that way and with the vanilla ice cream, and oh my goodness, was that good. So in our last episode, Linda and I showed you that beautiful place we got to camp in the national forest just north of Custer, South Dakota, but it doesn't always work out like that. Sometimes you gotta take what you can get. And we were glad to find this place.